Wake Up America. Views and opinions expressed on Wake Up America are not necessarily those of the program host or sponsors.
Hi, I'm Lisa Pitts, the host of Wake Up America. On today's show, we will be on location in Newport News, Virginia, where we'll be stopping by Enterprise Backup Inc. and sitting down talking to the owner, Keith Horn. After a brief word from our sponsor, we'll be back.
Is your computer running slower and slower? Does it freeze or crash? Think you have a virus or spyware? You can speed up your system and get back to work with Enterprise Backup Incorporated. Whip your windows into shape and make your computer run like new again. Call Enterprise Backup now at 757-273-0628. That's 757-273-0628. Enterprise Backup Incorporated.
Massage and Restorative Therapies is conveniently located in Chesapeake. You will enjoy our personalized service and our nice, calm atmosphere. Services offered and not limited to include therapeutic massage, pain management, aqua chi, Reiki, and Psych K. Please call 757-409-3529 for more info or to book your next appointment. And remember, Massage and Restorative Therapies.
We are back and we are here at Enterprise Backup Inc. and I'm sitting down talking to the president, Keith Horn. Keith, I want to tell you thanks so much for having us.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for being a proud sponsor of Wake Up America.
It's my pleasure.
So I just really want to talk about for a minute, give a little background on how you got started, but give a little background on yourself, some little personal information about yourself.
So I guess I need to at first say that I'm actually from Hampton, Virginia. Way back in the day, in the 70s, I was one of Hampton High School's quarterbacks, and I won 2 state championships, only lost 2 games in my entire football career. And I kind of get the leadership bug from being a football player. Following that, I went off to the University of Cincinnati, got a couple of degrees, and owned a restaurant for a bunch of years in Newport News in the 80s.
That was fun.
Oh boy, tell me about it. But restaurant work is difficult. It is not an easy thing.
Restaurant work is hard work. Period.
Yes,
hard work.
I'm glad I was in my 20s.
I know, right?
Yes. I joined the military, stayed in the military for 20 years, concentrating on command, control, communications, and computers. I was part of aircrew, so I flew and did all this stuff. I was one of a few people, or I was the only person responsible for all communications and computers. And I realized during my military career how much good work was lost because of improper or unstructured data backup, restoring, keeping your information. People didn't do a very good job of that, and they still don't, from my perspective, do a good job of making sure that they don't lose all the work that they put into it.
So you were in the Air Force?
Yes.
So how many years?
I spent 20 years in the Air Force. I retired in 2005.
Wow. And so how did you get here? How did you start this?
How did I end up with Enterprise Backup Incorporated? Well, originally I this idea, and I've been working with the backup piece of Enterprise Backup. Now, we offer 3 different core products, but the maiden product, the root product that started everything, is managed data backup. And back in 1995, I started working with a company providing managed data backup, or just plain data backup. Back in those days, people used phone lines to talk to each other and to the computer. So remember dial-up? Remember AOL? Remember all that good stuff?
That.
Yeah, that was back in the days when we started this process. And the customer had to dial in to our server and store the information on our server. So we basically had to charge 2 bills. One bill for the amount of time that they kept our server busy, and another bill for the amount of space that they used on our server. Well, over time, that whole process has become a lot more affordable to everyone.
So how did you get here? How did you get with Enterprise Backup Inc.? How did you get
I
to where you're at
started
now?
this type of business back in 1995 in Omaha, Nebraska.
Were you still
and
in the military?
I was still in the military. I was providing a service to lawyers and doctors primarily because they could afford the service back then. Not everybody could afford off-site backup back in those days.
Wow. So you guys do backup and what else?
We provide, at Enterprise Backup Incorporated, we provide 3 core businesses. We do business continuity consulting, we do managed data backup, and we do selective IT, our computer support solutions.
Wow. And where's your office located at?
We're here at 745 Blue Crab Road, Newport News, Virginia, in Oyster Point City Center.
Okay. So let's talk about the first service that your company offers, the backup.
The original backup solution, everybody knows that you need to back up your equipment or your data. We spend a whole lot of time sitting behind a computer all day long, and that information has value.
Right.
It actually costs money to do that, or we wouldn't be doing it. What we provide is a means to get those critical pieces of data outside of your business in case there's a fire or something, a burglar breaks in and steals your equipment, those types of things, so that you can always buy new equipment. But what you can't replace is the information that you created using those machines.
Wow. So you do backup for in-home, or it's just basically businesses?
The primary focus is business customers because information is key in any type of business. If you lose your, say, bookkeeping software, what you come to find out is that you don't know who owes you money, but those that you owe money to realize that you owe them money.
Exactly.
So if you don't have a way to prove that I don't owe you $1,000 for a service that you provided, that I've already sent that check, then they can come back at you and request that money again.
Wow. So that backup is important.
Yeah, this information is critical.
Wow. And businesses, I didn't realize how important it was until we sat down and talked when I first met you. But for business, can be crucial. That can be the fall of a business.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of statistics over time where if a company has a disaster with regard to data, very few of them are able to reopen their doors. And of those that reopen their doors, a great deal of them are out of business within 2 years.
Wow. So what is business continuity?
Well, business continuity is known by a lot of things in the community. You hear business continuity, you hear disaster planning, you hear disaster recovery planning. In a nutshell, what business continuity is having a plan before something happens to you. For if you wait till it happens to you, then you're making decisions based on the spur of the moment and based on pressures that might lead you to make a poor decision and compound your issues.
I have more spending more money fixing it.
I mean, the insurance company is going to cut you a check to help you recover from any type of disaster. But if you spend that money poorly or unwisely, they're not going to cut you a second check to fix the problems that you created if you didn't get it right the first time. So business continuity is where we sit down with the business decision makers and ask a lot of specific questions about their supply chain, about their employee structure, about their compliances, a lot of things that you necessarily wouldn't think of unless you were an expert at business continuity. And we task the business owner to go out and do homework and come back with the correct answers to specific things. We sit down and prepare a plan for them, say communications. One of the biggest examples of a poor communications plan is the Virginia Tech shooting. They had no communications plan with regard to that because, come to find out, you had reporters that were sneaking on the campus. I heard of one that was posing as a priest and going into the hospital to try to talk to some of the victims to get a story, or